Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Mindie and I'm a psychic medium. And for those of you that follow me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and even have watched other YouTube videos, know that I've gone through a lot of changes in the past few years, becoming a professional psychic medium, becoming my authentic self, and really showing the world, you know, what my truer purpose is. And so the purpose of this video is that I want to kind of explain where mediumship took me in terms of taking control over my life and working through some of the more difficult issues in life that I've gone through. And so on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I post a lot of healthy eating and some of the changes my family has gone through, including my pregnancy, and the time during my pregnancy, and now with my beautiful son Ace, who just turned 9 months old. So this is about kind of bringing you up to speed on how Spirit helped change my life in more than just becoming a psychic medium. So a quick overview. I was confirmed by many mediums around the world that I was to become a professional psychic medium, but this really happened when I went to the Philippines in 2010. And on Christmas Day 2010, back here in the States, my father-in-law, who has now passed away, advised me of my gifts and my abilities, and from a family friend that was a medium, you know, told me to really explore what this meant for me. So now fast forward many years later, I worked in a corporate office with a top Fortune 500 insurance company. If anything gives it away, it's the lizard. And I worked in 5 regional offices across the country. And I decided in January, just a couple of years back, to go part-time. And then after 15 years, I was able to fully retire. So that's when I really took on becoming a professional medium and changed my life entirely. But through that journey, I had really struggled pretty much my entire life with my weight shifting up and down, skipping meals, not necessarily always eating healthy, but skipping meals was a big part of my life, and kind of the yo-yo dieting. And so when I decided in June, gosh, now it's been almost a couple of years that I've been a professional psychic medium, I decided to retire from my position. And under no circumstance or coincidence, my father-in-law, who was one of my best friends, passed away just days later. And so that was a really difficult time for me. But having not been tied to a 9-to-5 job, my husband and I and my mother-in-law and my family, we were very blessed because I was able to be home. And through that journey, Spirit brought to me messages about my health. And while my husband and I had been eating organic and more natural and just being more mindful of farm to table and buying local for many, many years, and I had, you know, been eating organic for several years prior to that, we weren't really doing everything that we could to really be healthy. And Spirit will talk about mind, body, and soul, or mind, body, and spirit. And those all have to be equally balanced. So that summer, I had retired from my corporate job. My father-in-law literally passed away days later, and then days after that, Spirit said, "You're going to go vegetarian for 90 days. I remember distinctly calling my sister and being a little bit like, you know, now what? And although I've had a desire for cooking and loved cooking and eat healthy and, you know, things in the past, you know, again, this yo-yo over time, I didn't really know what this meant. But I knew that stress, working 1,000,000 hours a week with a huge workload, tons of direct reports and indirect reports in an industry that is super cutthroat for a major corporation, skipping meals, eating unhealthy, and any combination thereof had literally put me at my heaviest weight ever. So I listened to Spirit and said, okay, I'll go vegetarian for 90 days and we'll go from there. I knew what that meant. I had, you know, some knowledge of kind of some things that I was going to need to do, but I also did a lot of research and I asked Spirit to help me along the way. So just really after, you know, June 2013, I went vegetarian for 90 days, and as did my husband. Essentially, he would occasionally have fish or chicken, but I was literally 90 days strictly vegetarian and mostly vegan, actually. From there, I noticed that I started feeling better. A lot of things that came with that, and I'm going to talk about this in other videos again, and save some of that for my upcoming cooking vlog. I've already put one out on my website. So I literally went vegetarian for those 90 days, and I noticed big changes right away. Not just in my connection with spirit, but also my overall health, how I felt. And that was the start of a journey of self-love that I didn't understand. I do now, but at the time I didn't. So now fast forward, gosh, just a few weeks, and the world can be pretty cruel. My husband and I were considering, actually starting pregnancy, and of course losing my father-in-law, that kind of encouraged us to start, right away. And we were so grateful, because literally we got pregnant immediately, despite me being at almost my heaviest weight, which was a shock to some. Even friends had mentioned if I had any problems getting pregnant, that they could maybe help. And that was super hard for me. So I was grateful. I was pregnant. I had a midwife that I was working with, and that was a wonderful experience, but I continued to be just so healthy. I did not, during my pregnancy, have, any meat. Like I said, I was primarily vegetarian, but even almost vegan. I ate so healthy. I literally just focused on this transition, and I trusted spirit. And I knew that big changes were coming. So literally through my entire pregnancy, I was vegetarian. Contrary to even working with my OBGYN, there's a lot of opinions out there. And let me tell you this. They always told me how wonderful I was doing and how healthy I was. I had no glucose issues or anything with my testing. It was literally a wonderful pregnancy. I did deal with a lot of other things that moms go through with heartburn and certain things like that. My son was very active. But in terms of the vegetarian lifestyle, that was literally brought to me by spirit. I followed that journey, ended up delivering my son absolutely wonderfully and with ease. And my healing and my recovery, the doctors were super impressed. So again, I attribute this to my lifestyle change and all the things we had done, but I do want my fans and my friends and family and everyone watching this video to know that that was part of my spiritual journey. The reason I went vegetarian and I decided to make a bigger change for me and my family was because of spirit. And so now my son is almost 9 months old, and I do a lot of food, different foods, vegan, vegetarian, and pescatarian. We are primarily vegetarian as a family, with occasional seafood. And I'm going to be introducing a lot of these, ways that I've introduced vegetarian into my family on my vlog. So that's my video blog on my website, and I'm just really excited. But this video is super, super important to kind of bring my journey full circle, especially those of you that don't know me at all, but also to kind of fill in some of the gaps of those that only know me as a psychic medium. So my journey is much like many of yours, whether you've left another career, got pregnant, became a stay-at-home mom. I do stay at home with my son Ace, but I work as a psychic medium, and I do all the different activities, while being at home and balancing that with my husband and all of that. So I just hope you enjoyed this little bit of my story. I've posted recent now and then pictures because I feel like I'm not ashamed of where I ever had gone in terms of my life or my decisions, and I don't have regrets. It's something you really work hard at. And so, but I'm proud of the weight loss, which at this point is just under 60 pounds at my heaviest that I've lost. And I've done nothing extreme. I've not been in a gym 5 days a week. I do at-home yoga, walks with my family. I eat healthy, and I really put time and care into, what we're eating. But spirit, you're going to learn a lot more about this. Anything in excess, anything that's excessive, does not sustain, and it's not your authentic self typically when you're doing things in extreme ways. And so this is for the first time. I'm not on a diet. I feel better than I've ever felt before. I sleep better than I've ever slept before. And it just works. So I'm just excited to share, like I said, this kind of part of my journey. So I hope you continue to follow me. You can find me on Instagram, Psychic Medium Mindie Adamos. You can find me on my business page on Facebook under Psychic Medium Mindie Adamos. And I'm also on Twitter, Psychic Medium Mindie. So I hope to see you guys again. And I'm looking forward to sharing some really exciting news with y'all over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned, and I'll see you when I see ya. Take care. Bye-bye.